What attracted you to place Tony Bennett, Elvis Presley, Wynton Marsalis, and others in this extraordinary novel?
Well, that happened because, you know, when you have a guy who's so fantastical and has such power and is so great, and the voice of music actually narrates the book, which was a conceit that I decided on early on, and I really enjoyed it because it begins with music at Frankie Presto's funeral, and music comes to claim the talent that it gave to Frankie Presto and to take it out of his body and then to sprinkle it over a bunch of other musicians who were being born. And once I had those two things, which are obviously very, you know, almost otherworldly, the rest of the novel really couldn't be otherworldly, or you would almost feel like it was taking place on a different planet. So I decided, okay, I'll have Frankie Presto, who's like Superman, and the voice of music, who's like, you know, well, it speaks for itself. And then I'll put it in the real world. And it's a bit of a Forrest Gump kind of a thing, where everybody he meets and everything that he goes through is real. And this is the first time I actually hired a full-time researcher for one of my books, where she worked that was what she did for months, just researching all these little musical things, like where did Little Richard record Tutti Frutti, and was there a shoe shine stand out in the back of it and that I could use, and what was the color of the car that Hank Williams bought when he ended up dying in, and all that. And once I had all that, I moved Frankie Presto in the middle of all this. So it's a very historically accurate book, and he weaves his way through all these actual real icons of the 20th century. He's in Duke Ellington's band for a while. He comes over on a boat with Django Reinhardt, the gypsy guitar player. He's his translator because Django doesn't speak English, and he's 9 years old and he translates for him, which is kind of like the little chick over there translating from me into Creole. So I kind of had that experience. I mean, I took a lot of stuff from my own life. And then he's in Elvis Presley's band one night when Elvis doesn't show up, and he takes over for him. He's the first real Elvis Presley impersonator, the only one to ever actually pull it off, because people didn't know it wasn't Elvis one night. And he meets Hank Williams and all these people. So and he goes to Woodstock, and it became a great way to sort of mix the fantastical with the historical. And I was able to tell a good story.